sure you're ready?
Nope.
You're not?
I am ready.
Well, that's good because we already started rolling.
Oh, we did?
Critique-Opolis is back. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this,
Yeah.
since we just watched it,
Mm-hmm.
I almost think that I'm going to let you run the order, but maybe we want to put this up front because this was just released.
Yes.
And it's going to, the first episode that we put out comes out tomorrow, so this might be a nice, just to,
Put this one first.
yeah, have it, what do you call that? It shepherds it, or it flows, it supports it. It flows right under the release of the movie. What is that term?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. I'll try to think.
It shadows it, for lack of a better term. Because if we release this in the order that we've been recording,
It won't make so much.
yeah, it's going to come out
okay.
it's going to come out the episode would come out 3 weeks after its release, and this was just released, what, yesterday?
No, like last weekend.
Oh, last week? Yeah, then we should do it
so.
tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So Project Hail Mary, we saw this in the theater. So good. So, you know what's tough about doing a movie podcast is we don't tend to give negative reviews, aside from maybe the first movie we saw, but I find myself struggling to come up with different words for this was a great movie.
Yep. I understand. I hear you.
So much to unpack. I'm going to try not to make this like an hour-long podcast, but
I would say it was amazing. I would say I really enjoyed it. That's what I've been telling people. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I mean, we'll expand on it, but there were many elements that were out of this, done amazingly.
was that tongue-in-cheek for it to call it Out of This World? It was a space movie?
Nope, but that was good.
Okay, so...
Oh, I should tell people that.
So this, along with some of our recent reviews of shorts, the music in this movie was a new character, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the theme of being isolated. Like Snow Bear was just one character. Yeah. It's just two characters in the voluminous vacuum of space. For not the whole movie, but a big chunk of it. Let's see here. And we just discovered a new tool to help Louisa with her portion of Notebook. But I'll give you the broad strokes of this if you haven't. I don't know how anybody could have escaped this trailer, but I'm not sure if do they do a global release when this movie comes out, or they used to do international releases and domestic releases at different times.
I want to say that it came out all over the world at the same time, because earlier today I was looking at box office numbers.
And it was just...
And they had
different countries?
Domestic, international, global.
Is this on Amazon or on... yeah, it's on. Is it on Amazon? Because it was an Amazon production.
It was produced by Amazon Studios, but I don't know that it's on Amazon yet.
It's not on Netflix or anything, right? It wouldn't be.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Project Hail Mary, a cinematic odyssey. These sources detail the production, release, and reception of 2026's Project Hail Mary, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, based on Andy Weir's best-selling novel, starring Ryan Gosling, as a amnesiac teacher on a desperate interstellar mission to save Earth from a sun-killing organism. Technical coverage emphasizes the filmmaker's commitment to practical effects. That was what was amazing. Right out of the gate, what was amazing about this movie is there wasn't a lot of green screen stuff. They used actual puppeteering technology and practical effects the way when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s and 90s, before green screen really took off, that's how movies were made, with actual effect. I showed you scenes from The Thing with Kurt Russell. You remember, it was kind of gross, but that organism mimicked a person, but when it was found out, the person would break apart. And do you remember this? The scene in the, I know I showed this to you, with this guy's head like peels itself off, turns into a spider.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did show that to me, but I blocked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all, I know it was gross, but that was all practical effects. That was all latex and
Yes,
wood pieces.
I got it now. I totally remember. Mm-hmm.
That was wood piece, like when the stalks that became the legs popped out of the guy's head.
Mm-hmm.
That was all done behind it was all latex and paper mache, stuff like that. And they haven't made movies like that in a while. And this Project Hail Mary was a lot of that. From the alien named Rocky. He was not digital. He was puppeteered by a team.
Yeah, that's so cool.
The film is hailed as a masterpiece of optimistic sci-fi, blending humor and heart while achieving massive commercial success at the global box office. Budget was how much? Like $400 million? Is that what the look on
I thought it was less than that, but
if you look on your
Mojo or something.
No, on your
Yeah, I got it.
what is the panels that we just looked at?
Yeah.
Your slide deck.
Yeah, 400 million.
Additionally, fan discussions, interviews highlight Sandra Huller's performance. I want you to talk about that from whatever you saw, because
Okay.
I could not stand that woman. I mean, I understood her motivations, but her actions made me hate her. Noting how the adaptation humanizes her character beyond the original text, apparently. I should point out right now that we discovered another component to Notebook LM, which I'm just loving for you, Louisa. It's called Slide Deck, where it, in short, creates, what did I call them earlier? What do you call them? For like when you're building a movie, the
Storyboard.
Storyboard. Good God. I am going to end up in a home. I know it. I can't remember shit. So it builds storyboards, in essence, but concepts and the theme, to break down the concepts and theme of the film, not a scene-by-scene portrayal, but the key components of the film. It gives you quick text bites and graphics to represent it. So it's a really cool little learning tool. And while I'm talking, I really hope you're finding that piece of text about Sandra Huller's.
Well, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for how much it costs to make this movie.
I think it was 400, but
nope, that was a wrong.
Not.
You have it different. That 400 million is a different number.
That's break even.
It's a different number. It's the fastest Ryan Gosling movie to make 400 million or something like that. I can read it to you.
Oh, well, okay.
$421 million is the current global box office number. It's the fastest Gosling film to make 4 million behind Barbie and La La Land.
400 million.
421.
Keep it going, Cosmo. Let's see. So, do you have...
It's so amazing. If I didn't have to work tomorrow, I'd go tomorrow.
Wait a minute, you sent me the quiz too. Okay.
Oh, I just
You pulled a
recently,
quiz.
yeah.
All right, so
But I'll look at that
this
article.
is interesting. So the slide deck gives us a nice little breakdown of the mission parameters for the film, which is in essence the synopsis of the film. So Gosling is a
Middle school
science teacher, and he has a PhD in is it, what are you looking at? What's that look for? What was his degree in, like, biochemical engineering or
I think it was in biochemical engineering. That sounds right.
something like that. And he wrote a paper about how life can exist without water, and it was laughed out of the room by a number of other scientists, so he didn't lose credential, but he was embarrassed by it, and he just decided to teach high school science. And this Sandra Huller's character gets a hold of his thesis and wants to ask him a question regarding how he conceptualized this. But what?
What's amnesiac mean?
They knocked him out for the trip. You know,
Oh.
they put him in stasis. They put him in.
Yeah. They put him in a coma.
Yeah, they put him in a coma.
Okay.
That's why when he woke up, he had long hair.
Yeah.
He was out for a couple
Right.
of years.
Yeah. A couple, like 11.
Well, okay. Okay.
But okay, sorry.
I would have thought
I
it
didn't
would
mean
have been, it would have been longer. But
to.
anyway, here's the.
It would have been, you're right.
Sandra Huller is dealing with this. She knows that the sun is dying, and the reason for this is a single-celled, energy-consuming microorganism that's breeding on Venus called astrophage. It is actively dimming the sun, threatening global extinction inside of 30 years. Now, the Project Hail Mary is they send a pilot, a biologist, and like an engineer up to try to the nearest star that this seems to be being emitted from, or the source of this astrophage, to see if they can solve the problem. But there's an accident and the biologist dies. Dr. Raylan Grace is put in his place against his will, which that's the hardest part of the movie. That's the most emotionally jarring part of the movie.
It doesn't come out till later. I think when we got out of the movie and we were driving back, we were discussing that, weren't we?
This movie, this.
I couldn't
I got so angry with this woman. I didn't tell you that. I was in the shower last night, just like
so
privately
angry.
raging at her. I'm like, this bitch fucking. She drugged him and threw him on his. Like, he'll never see home again.
Yeah.
He's like, well, this is for the good of all mankind. I'm like, I don't get to decide. You just showed up, asked me about a paper, and now you're stealing my life.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. Well, I have to say that's better than you being in the shower and like passing out, because that's what I thought. I was like, please just keep the water going and turn off when you're done.
No. But I can see how this would be an outstanding SNL skit for Ryan Gosling when he's brought back to be a guest.
Yeah.
Like part 2, when he returns to Earth to
Yeah.
exact revenge on this woman.
Yes.
We should friend him on Instagram and say, you know what, pitch that to Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute, I didn't finish.
Okay,
Dr.
sorry.
Raylan Grace wakes up after a coma 12 light years from Earth. His crew is dead. The way that this was just such a great choreography of everything, because he knew these people and now they're dead next to him, and he has to remember who they are. Mm-hmm. And then he offers them a burial at space, which is very touching.
It was.
And
it was very touching.
He must place his memory back together while executing the mission. He is not alone. An alien spacecraft is already at the target, which is 2 Ceti. Is 2 Ceti was the star? I can't recall.
How is it spelled, what you're reading?
Tauc.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a star?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Alien spacecraft is already there seeking the same answers. And the alien spacecraft, what was so interesting about it, it's not a hostile force or anything. It's just this. How would you describe it? It almost looks like a. Almost looks like a piece of English punctuation, like a.
The overall shape of it?
Yeah, it's
That's
like
what you're asking?
It's like a equal sign with something in the center of it.
Actually, yes, it is.
Yeah, but it's constructed of this crystalline material, and the alien on board it moves sort of like a crab, but I think this was meant, Lisa, to kind of underscore how smart Gosling's character was, because his paper was about how you could have life without water, and Rocky's being
Whole existence is without water.
Yeah, it doesn't really. He's
That's
made
a
of
good
rock.
point.
He's made of rock,
Yeah.
and he can't react with O2
Anything. Yeah.
because that's what.
Isn't he
makes
always
him
in a
dis-
bubble, kind of?
Yeah, he creates like a crystalline shell around himself to interact with Gosling, because his atmosphere and our atmosphere are toxic to one another. So they have this amazing little first contact interplay where they can't communicate digitally. So Rocky's ship throws a vase or a what do you call that? A codex across space that Ryan has to catch.
Yeah.
And he has to figure out how to open it, and the spring-loaded mechanism inside is a diorama of the solar system that they're in.
Yeah.
So he knows he's dealing with intelligent life. They have to meet one another.
That was the second vial that he threw. The first one that he threw had oxygen in it.
It did?
To help him breathe, I think, yeah. Because that was, remember the two...
No, he found that when he went over and met Rocky.
Oh.
The first thing he found was...
Sorry, tangent.
Yeah, no, so Rocky communicates... Yeah, he had the little figurine.
Yeah.
The figurine he made of him.
Yeah.
As like a little guy.
Yeah.
And they showed that Rocky, he makes things, he's like a mechanic, and he spins like a metallic substance.
Yeah.
I can't remember what, it was a particular element, but in Rocky's world, some of the elements that we have on Earth as gases, he manipulates as...
It's xenon.
Well, there was xenon, but there was another one.
That's what he was made out of.
Yeah.
Or that's... Yeah, that's not it. Okay.
There's a couple materials that in the movie...
Are different.
Their form is different than exist on Earth.
Yep.
And thereby they have different functions and they can be utilized differently. Which was an interesting... I think there was a lot of science that they took huge liberties with.
Yeah.
Because xenon, most of these things are transformed in states by matters of temperature. Like you need to have, I think in Rocky's universe, like his atmosphere is very hot. Remember when the thing slid open for him to he was putting something in for him to look at.
Yeah.
And when he opened it, the gas escaped, and he's like, "Holy shit, that's hot!"
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
It's going to be so hard to discuss this movie because there's so many cool elements to it. Well, they utilize these figurines that Rocky builds for him to make first contact. His ship is able to construct this crystalline port and fill it with air and pressure for Ryan to come over. And what's interesting is they represent Rocky as this being that he's able to assimilate intelligence pretty fast. Like he can figure out that this guy needs pressure to hold him together. That's why he tells him to take off his hat or take off his helmet, and he won't die.
Yep.
He gives it. Oh, that's the other thing. He gives him that ring of 8. So he
Oh,
realizes,
that's what I was talking about. Okay.
He's like,
Yeah.
that's O2. He figures
So
it
he
out.
can, yeah.
Right. And then they have to build a working language model that they both can utilize.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing, too. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, and what's funny is it was a 3-hour-long movie, but it did such a great job of walking you through the emotions that happen. Rocky is this interesting little. He speaks like it is like a foreign language. Like he leaves out prepositions. He puts words in the wrong order. But he's kind of like a overexcited, uninvited guest.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, in order to be able to interact with Ryan Gosling, he builds this crystalline ball for himself so he can move in Ryan's environment.
Mm-hmm.
And he just comes over to his spaceship and knocks on the door and says, "Hey, let me in. Let me see all this stuff." It just kind of bumbles around the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this is the other thing that was amazing is they utilized harmonics. You remember when they were in, so there's a scene, they're in Ryan's classroom and he's teaching the kids that each frequency, when played, creates a particular shape. Like you run the frequency through a piece of fabric that has something light on it, like silicon or sand,
Mm-hmm.
and you run a particular frequency through that, and it creates a shape in the sand. And it's not just harmonic. There's an actual. Don't you remember that? That was at the very beginning.
I didn't realize that's what was happening.
That's what they were doing. And that's how Rocky's ship operated. All those lines in there, he would touch particular lines to execute certain functions.
Wow. No, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
So, well, what I'm pointing out is that there's all these different scientific laws that were just kind of thrown around throughout the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Rocky's technology is based on, from at least what they showed us, utilizing vibration and harmonics and sound as a way, because he couldn't see. He didn't have access to the visual spectrum of light that we do.
Yeah, I remember that.
He used sound to create the shape.
Yeah.
And when they would give us like Rocky vision.
Yeah, yeah.
But it looked like
night vision.
Kind of, and it's almost like
blurry night vision.
It's almost like if your body was made up of a bazillion little particles, but as sound moves through it, it vibrates a little and it creates a shape. And that's how Rocky would see the world. Like when he was interacting with Ryan, you can't help but make sound. And that sound reverberates all over the place, and that's what defines, like if it was perfectly quiet, perfectly still, he would be in total darkness.
Yep.
But that's why there was a scene where Gosling was talking, and he was talking very, very, very
quietly. Yep.
And Rocky's like, "I can hear everything you're saying."
Right. Yep.
So harmonics are. I'll see if I can find you anything that is something that has been popped up in my feed over the past couple of years, how you can use sound to create shapes.
Okay.
You can do it with sand, but you can also make that, like particular sounds make perfect geometric shapes.
Wow. Okay.
So I think they just like to throw, the creators like to throw those little pieces of the physical science world into the story, just to make people curious. What else do we have in here? I'm not sure how to move. I gotta go through the rest of. Oh, here we go. What else? You want to?
What else do I want to talk about?
Well, so they portray Ryan as the reluctant hero. And one of your slides here says why he was the best choice, because Grace is not a grizzled astronaut. He's a middle school science teacher. His unique physical comedy and timing kept a bleak premise relentlessly entertaining. He was an empathy anchor. Drew Goddard, the screenwriter, knew Gosling was attached before writing. There's nothing I can write that he can't play. Terror, comedy, empathy. And as the ultimate scene partner, Gosling did 45-minute takes with puppeteers just to build genuine rapport. To aid in the
That's so cool. I'd love to see those videos.
I'll bet you it was like, I wonder if he took any of his P's and Q's from Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Because Jim Henson, he lived in that puppeteer studio.
Yeah.
To aid in the connection, his 9 and 11-year-old daughters occasionally voiced the alien into his earpiece. The future, and this was an interesting quote by Gosling, the future isn't something to fear, just to be figured out. Very true. What else do we have? So, Eva Stratt, is that how you say her name? Eva Stratt. She is the German scientist who is heading the whole Hail Mary project to figure out what this astrophage is doing, where it's coming from, and how to stop it from chewing up our star or our sun. And I guess in the book, she was more of a cold, calculating character. And
very much so. It looks like you would have hated her more in the book, for as much as you don't like her now. But
they softened her, believe it or not, in the movie.
They did. And also, I think we're on the same slide.
Yeah.
It says that even though she how do you say that word? Coerces?
Courses?
Coerces? How do you...
Where are you looking? The old bureaucrat?
The burden leader.
Fuller injects profound vulnerability into the role when she coerces Grace. Coerces.
Some of these words I can't...
Read?
Yeah, because the way that you say them... Okay, anyway.
It's all right. You deal with 4-year-olds all day.
It says that when she puts him into a coma, she looks visibly pained. And you, couldn't that was really rough because she gives him a...
She drugs
the
him.
timeline of the movie, it doesn't go straight. It's very disjointed.
It's not,
and that takes
me,
that's a hard thing for me to watch. I have to figure that out. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but you go through this whole movie, sort of, and then there are all these, flashbacks to how Ryan Gosling's character got to be on this spaceship by himself. And we learn that initially... he was given the chance by what's her character's Eva.
Yeah. He was not so much given the chance, so much. Well, yeah.
That's not what I wanted to say, though.
What?
I guess you're right.
To be part of the scientific team.
Yeah, I guess so. He was given. It was a choice. He could do this mission, so called, if he wanted, or he didn't have to. But it wasn't really a choice, because when he was offered it. He wanted to think about it, and she said, "You can think about it
for 3 hours."
For 3 hours, and he wanted to take a whole day. And then the next thing you know, she's like, "I didn't want to do this, but I'm doing it. I have to do this." And what did she say?
Well, no, he's sitting down in front of her. He's like, "I can't do this. I cannot do this."
Oh yeah, he didn't take that long to. He's like,
it was
nope.
like an emphatic no.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to die, but I'm going to die on my home.
Yeah, on Earth where I live.
She's like, no. she's like, you're going, I'm sorry.
And then she forces him into...
And he's just the absolute... This is why he's a great actor. I mean, the absolute panic. And he's not violent. He's a teacher and a scientist.
Yeah.
He's just kind of I don't want to say he cowers from it, but he's like,
Well, he's trying to escape it. I mean,
Yeah,
what would you do if you were put in that?
I'm just like, well, personally, I'm not saying I would.
After I said that, I was like, oh, God.
The scene made me angry. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is being
Yeah.
forced upon you.
Yeah.
The idea that, like, just how you're going to operate in that situation when you wake up 11 years later.
Yeah.
You have to recall everything. You have to deal with the fact that everybody you love is dead or gone, or they've. I mean, this is the government. You don't, and I know I'm extrapolating a lot into a movie, but like, you don't know what the government's told people in your life. And like, he didn't have a family or anything, but like, if it was anybody else, what do you?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and like for me,
and like, you're so far away, you'll never get the answer.
No.
It's and to think that you would be able to operate, and I mean, it's a Ron Gosling movie thing. Things work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really we're not blowing the lid off anything by saying that, but that's just another layer of why this is a Hail Mary mission.
Mm-hmm.
Just to think about what you're up against and the fact that you've been betrayed by someone you're working with, and your life has been dictated to you, and your fate has been dictated to you, and you're sent out into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God he meets Rocky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious what that article said about deconstructing her. Did you find that?
Yeah, I do have it up, but I don't.
God, I was angry with her. Just.
Well, it's a lot of words. It doesn't really. Explain her. It doesn't really explain her character's thought process. It's more like who she is in the book versus who she is in the movie. I mean, she did a really great job of playing this character. She was definitely someone that you hate, and it's either you or someone else I know who's always like, if you really hate someone in a movie, they did a really good job.
Yeah, she did. It's so hard to admit, like, because I know she's not the character's not
I think
her,
about that a lot, yeah.
But, like, to ever interview and, like, I wanted to gouge her eyes
I know,
out.
right?
I hated you.
Right.
I was beside myself with how despicable you were.
It says that a lot of people, a lot of readers, say that she fell flat. Hold on, I should read this better. In the movie version, she successfully humanizes this character of Eva Stratt, and it says who many readers felt was a flat, utilitarian trope in the original novel. Fans praised Sandra Hüller's nuanced performance, noting that her portrayal adds emotional depth and vulnerability through small gestures in a specific karaoke scene that contrasts with the book's cold, power-focused version of the character. So it sounds like she's like,
I feel like
quote,
they put
nicer in the movie.
You can actually dissect out the parts where they humanize her. The honest to God was the karaoke scene,
Yeah.
and the fact that she stumbled over her words when he was being told he doesn't have a choice. She's like, don't make this harder. He's like, I'm going to make it as hard as I want.
Yeah, this is what, yeah.
I'm going to make this awful for you. I'm going to make you hate your life over doing this.
I have to add that regarding the karaoke scene,
Yeah.
I saw an interview with her, or a clip of an interview with her.
Yeah.
And for that specific song, she like found out about it one day, asked her daughter, I'll say in a minute more, about this song, and then like went back to set the next day and like did that scene. And I was actually pretty impressed. I mean,
Was
for
that her
karaoke,
singing?
I think she did a really good job. I mean, she has a really nice voice, is what I want to say. But she went home when she found out that she would have to do this karaoke scene, and she asked her daughter if this particular song was a cool song to sing. Because it's not her.
Whose song is that?
Harry Styles.
Oh, of course.
Of
course she knows whose it is.
Well, yeah, it says. It's all over everything. You didn't know?
I don't know.
I know you do.
I'm near death. I'm so old.
You're not near death.
Old.
You're not near death.
Let's hope not.
You're not a dinosaur. Anyway.
It's getting there.
Whenever it's an appropriate time, I have a moment as something to say about his sweater.
Whose sweater? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Which
I've
one?
been waiting.
Are you talking
and
about
waiting.
the one at the end or which one?
His Ryan Gosling's character's sweater, I kind of felt like it was throughout the movie, but I guess that's because of flashbacks. The one with the foxes on it.
Okay.
Okay, so I read this in the dailies.
Are you talking about
while I was on vacation?
Are you talking about the cardigan?
Yeah.
The one he's wearing at the end?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, it looks really warm and cozy, but it's really ugly. And it says, good morning. As Project Hail Mary continues its box office tear, the film's unlikely breakout star is a sweater.
It is.
Ryan Gosling wears a chunky zip-up fox cardigan in the movie, designed to make his reluctant astronaut look warm and deeply uncool. Costume designer Glenn Dillon found the original at a London vintage fair, and the internet has since traced it to Mary Maxim. She's a small Michigan yarn company whose $90 knitting kit sold out overnight. You do have to knit it yourself, and knockoffs are already flooding the internet for people with less patience. So I saw this, and I cracked up, and I read it to Mom, because my mom is a big knitter and crocheter and makes all this stuff, and also because it's Michigan. And she was like, Louisa, she's like, these sweaters, they're not, I believe she said, they're not even grandma sweaters. She's like, they're worse than grandma sweaters. She's like, they're so ugly. And at this point, all I had were the words on the page. Like, I didn't know what we were talking about. So throughout the movie, every time that sweater came up, I was like, it really is ugly. I'm trying to look at it in a different light, but I can't to save my life. Anyway, I just think that's a very funny
I'll tell you what's amazing about that is that it was designed and created in Michigan. It ended up in London.
I know.
And then it caught the attention of a
costume designer
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing to me about the internet is just the crisscrossing of interests. And then this woman sells out of it. Why in the hell can't Ryan Gosling do a goddamn scene with Hey Honey somewhere in the background that I didn't pay for?
Maybe he could do it on SNL when he comes back from...
when he comes back to exact revenge on Sandra Huller?
Yes. I would die.
Oh, yeah, he should like put her in like a barrier up to her neck and then cover her in Hey Honey, Wildflower Honey, and just let the ants eat her. That's a real torture, honest to God.
I can only imagine.
It's not really torture because people die from it. Anyway, she was awful. I couldn't stand her.
But don't you love my sweater comment?
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's not really mine, but...
I didn't know about that. But you know what? All of his T-shirts in that movie were pretty good.
They were. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I was going to Google Ryan Gosling's T-shirts in this movie.
Right now.
Because I wanted to know, what did it say on the periodic elements shirt? Did you read it?
Yeah, I did, and I can't remember because I'm old and haven't had my ginkgo today. But
oh, you didn't have that today?
No, didn't have it. Forgetting stuff.
I love this movie.
I know.
I haven't seen a movie like this in a long time.
The fact that they used practical effects was odd. Just the Rocky ship throwing that codex. Mm-hmm. It was, the movement was, I don't know why I'm zeroing in on this, but it was this 2001 A Space Odyssey kind of, there was no sound because they're in space, and this mechanical arm is flinging it over. And it just reminded me of 2001. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is being thrown, like literally the most arcane way to send a message, and they're doing it in outer space.
Well, in case you want to buy any of them, you can.
I know I can. What's that sweater? What is
It
it?
says I wear this shirt periodically.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have known.
Okay. Grounding the infinite, the practical space philosophy. So this is a slide that shows a sort of a drawn rendering of what a spacewalk composition, how that was put together. So complex wire work for zero-G realism. They used pulleys and lines to hold a person in a spacesuit to look like they were, floating
Oh,
in
I saw
space.
a tiny video of that, yeah.
Tau SETI and trajectory, so he's moving sideways out the door. Crucial interactive light from shifting hues on an actor, no green screen. Okay, so I guess the outer space, they didn't use green screen to create that. They must have made it in the same way they did Star Wars.
Which is...
Like practically with like a background.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the whole... Yeah.
In-camera lighting. Cinematographer Craig Fraser used practical lights and shifting hue backgrounds rather than blue screens to simulate the auroras of alien planets. So the aurora that existed around that planet where they had to collect the bacteria that ate the astrophage.
Mm-hmm. The pink or the red?
The pink was the astrophage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
the green was the bacteria, for lack of a better word,
that was eating, yeah.
But what was there was the leak at the end, the bacteria leaked out? Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I was going to ask you, actually, exactly what was leaking out of
I think it was
Ryan Gosling's...
I think the bacteria was leaking out because they used the astrophage to power the ship. You remember how they used it to melt that block?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With when it would show that panel that had all those spinning and moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Those were small. Those were micro panels
Of the ass.
astrophage was inside it. Remember how when they melted that block of
you're
steel,
right.
they
Yeah.
had that triangle-shaped. It was like a triangle-shaped box with glass on the sides, and one glass panel opened, and they activated the astrophage somehow, and that's what melted.
Mm-hmm.
So they had those triangles.
Mm-hmm.
They would spin to close. They'd close it, or they would open when it would spin open. That would direct how much astrophage ejection pushed the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So if they closed a bunch of them, it slowed down. If they opened a bunch of them, it would speed up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what happened was the bacterium somehow ate its way out because what they stored it in, I think, was one of Rocky made a container
Mm-hmm.
of whatever that, if it was xenon or
Yeah.
argon or whatever, like it was a solid form of it.
Right.
And the phage ate it, or not the phage, but the bacterium ate its way through that.
Mm-hmm.
And what Ryan realized is Rocky's whole ship is made of that.
Yeah.
And then there was a radiation leak in his ship, and you remember at the beginning?
You mean
of the
going
movie-
out into space?
Yeah, there was some kind of radiation leak, and his companions died.
Oh, yeah, that's how they... Yeah.
And this would have exacerbated that leak because it would have just eaten through different parts of his ship,
Mm-hmm.
and he would have had the same fate. That's why he had to go back and say, we have to rewrap these things
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to eat through your ship, and you're going to have you're going to suffer the same fate as your colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was so interesting that they had these they represented two intelligent life forms, that each one knew different things and how to manipulate technology differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that it was meaning to do this, but I think that really speaks to how communication can work between people. Everybody knows a little something about something else,
Mm-hmm.
and you can teach each other how to learn something and how to grow and how to achieve a goal together. Because these were two, they didn't exist on the same planet, they didn't speak the same language, and they still worked together for a common goal
Right.
to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Ryan Gosling can do it with a fucking rock in outer space, why can't people down here who have different skin tones not figure their shit out?
Right.
And I don't know if Project Hail Mary was trying to say that, but like that's what I got out of it. Like, one guy with glasses and a rock figures out how to save the world, and one orange guy in Washington like doesn't know anything, and he figures out how to blow the world up.
Right.
I mean, things are just very precarious. This was it was just an outstanding movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to keep. Is there anything that we haven't?
And I was looking through to see if.
What else haven't we covered on it?
I mean, there's a
Oh,
comment.
we should do some of the quiz. Let's see if this will be fun.
Yeah.
Which specific production choice did directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller make to ensure the Project Hail Mary sets felt as realistic and grounded as possible? A, they only used natural light from the sun for all interior shots. B, they used AI-generated environments displayed on LED volumes. Or C, they utilized no green screens during the entire production. Or D, they filmed the entire movie in actual zero-gravity environments.
I think it's A and C.
I think it's just one of them.
Oh. Then I would. One's about the sunlight thing.
Yep.
And the other one's about what's.
No green screens.
So it's no green screens.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yes. Directors emphasized the entire ship was built as a physical set and filmed without any green or blue screens to create the natural environment. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Which character in the film adaptation was created specifically for the movie and does not appear in Andy Weir's original novel? Carl, which was the security guy at the base before Ryan Gosling went into space.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Ilyukino, who was the second in command of the ship, I think, was the lady who died.
Okay.
Ava Stratt or Yao Li Ji, who was the pilot.
What's the question again, please?
Which character in the film adaptation was created specifically for the movie and doesn't appear in Andy Weir's original novel?
I'm guessing Carl.
That's what I thought. And that's right. Carl is played by Lionel Boyce.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him too, a little bit.
And added to the film to provide comic relief.
Yes.
And a humanizing foil for Dr. Grace's experiments.
He said that a lot of his and Ryan's scenes in Home Depot when they were shopping were improvised. And he said he was really happy that the slam dunk of the items they were buying into the cart made it into the movie, because that was totally improvised and he just wanted that to be in there so people could see it. So it was fun.
Was the character of Rocky physically portrayed, how was the character of Rocky physically portrayed on the film set to facilitate interaction with Ryan Gosling? Through a fully autonomous animatronic robot as A, B, through Ryan Gosling acting as a tennis ball on a stick, C, through a human actor in a motion capture suit, or D, through a high-fidelity practical puppet controlled by 5 or 6 puppeteers?
The last one.
Correct. The filmmakers
Excellent.
used a physical Rocky puppet with puppeteers dubbed Rocketeers, later digitally removed in post-production.
Wow, that was a lot of work.
Tell me
for
about it.
somebody. Oh my gosh. They should get an award.
In the film, what significant change was made to the interaction between Raylan Grace and Rocky before they part ways to return to their home planet? In the film, what significant change was made to the interaction between Raylan Grace and Rocky before they part ways? A. Grace teaches Rocky how to speak English using a vocal synthesizer. Grace visits the interior of Rocky's ship. A blip A, wearing a special suit. Rocky decides to return to Earth with Grace instead of going back to 40 Iridani A. 40 Iridani A is Rocky's home planet.
Oh.
I think.
Um,
And then D, they engage in a final physical embrace without any barriers.
I think it's B. Is B the one that says he puts on a
Grace
special suit and he visits his Rocky spaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what the question is, but I think that's the right answer.
In the film, what significant change was made to the interaction between Raylan, Grace, and Rocky? Yep. Film adds a scene where Rocky builds Grace a suit to explore the Iradian ship, a moment that does not occur in the book.
I really like that.
Which song is performed by Sandra Huller's character Ava Strait during the karaoke scene that critics noticed was a humanizing moment for the character? Sign of the Times, you already know that. Going past that.
Mm-hmm.
As of April 5th, 2026, where does Project Hail Mary stand in terms of Ryan Gosling's career at the box office milestones? It is only the third Ryan Gosling movie to surpass $400 million globally. It is the highest grossing film of his entire career. It is his first movie to ever reach number one at the domestic box office, or it is his second highest grossing film of all time.
I think it's the first one. A.
It is only the third Ryan Gosling movie to surpass 400 million, or is it his first movie to ever reach number one at the domestic? I'm gonna go with A for you.
I'm going to go, okay.
That's right. Film joined Barbie and La La Land
Yeah.
as the only films in Gosling's filmography to reach a specific financial benchmark.
Which is amazing to think. Like, some of these actors and actresses, their range is just, like, incredible. It blows my mind.
Film was filmed for IMAX using which specific camera system to aspect ratio configuration for current day scenes? Standard 35 millimeter film cameras expand to 2.39 to 1 ratio. IMAX 15 to 70 millimeter film cameras for all space sequences. ARRI Alexa 65 cameras configured to 1.43 to 1 aspect ratio, or the GoPro Max 360 degree cameras for immersive views.
I'm going to go with the first answer.
Standard?
Yep. That was stretched or whatever.
No! 2.39 to 1 was specifically reserved for scenes taking place in the past. The ARRI Alexa 65 configured for the 1.43 to 1 aspect ratio. Production used large sensor Alexa 65 and rotated anamorphic lenses by 90 degrees to achieve the tall 1.43 to 1 IMAX ratio.
Wow. I wouldn't have known. But I will say on this note that I've never wanted to see a feature film in IMAX before, and this movie would be so cool in IMAX.
It's got to be the right kind of movie. It's got to have like sweeping views.
I think this is that movie. At least for
Especially
me.
when they're collecting the bacterium at the end.
Yeah. There were just some scenes that I was just like, wow, this would be amazing.
What is the etymological meaning of the term astrophage as it is described in the source material? Heat thirst, light parasite, star eater, or sun dimmer?
Oh, those are all. Can you read them again, please?
Heat heat thirst, light parasite, star eater, or sun dimmer?
Is the light one or the star eater? I think it's the star eater.
Correct. Derived from the ancient Greek roots astron, star, and phagian, to eat, describe the organism's consumption of solar energy. According to the Space.com analysis, how does the film's depiction of scientific concept differ from the novel? A, the film's science is considered less accurate than the books in every way. B, the film drops much of the scientific babble in favor of character development and emotion. C, the film introduces magic-like elements that contradict the book's hard science. Or D, the film adds more complex mathematical formulas to challenge the audience.
What was the question, please?
According to Space.com analysis, how does the film depiction of scientific concepts differ from the novel?
I want to say it's the last one about the math.
Oh, no. The film drops much of the scientific babble in favor of character development and emotion. Reviewers noted that the filmmakers focused on the heart of the story, stripping away some of the book's meticulous scientific explanations.
I didn't really comprehend what you said.
That's all right. In the film, this is the last one, who provides the voice for the Hail Mary onboard computer, Mary? Sandra Huller, Meryl Streep, Melania Vaintrub. She is good looking. That's the chesty insurance. Is it insurance or not progressive? The cellular, the cell phone lady.
That's where I recognized her from.
That girl is a fucking fox. Oh,
that's where oh my
yeah.
gosh, that was one. Oh, okay.
She comes up in my Instagram feed all the
I
time.
can sleep
no
now.
shame in that at all.
I can sleep now.
She is a dish.
She's from what did you say? Oh, the cellular commercials.
Yeah, U.S. Cellular.
Wow. Go her.
Or Priya Cancera. Priya Cancera. Which one?
Who voices Mary?
Hail Mary onboard computer, Mary.
It's not Meryl Streep.
Nope.
What were the other choices? The cellular.
Melania, the Priya Cancera, or Sandra Huller, who played the.
Oh, I have no idea to this answer. I don't know.
Nope. Priya Cancera.
That's what I didn't know.
I don't know her. All right, well, hold on. All right, we're almost an hour here. So.
Okay.
Oh, my recipe. As always, brought to you by HeyHoney.biz. This is a recipe that didn't call for honey, but you can augment it with honey. So I went to Costco and I got those. You remember those bags, those 6 bags of chicken thighs for like $20?
Yes, okay.
That we didn't get. I got them.
Okay,
I
got it.
bought them.
Okay, gotcha.
And this made just enough for me. Each one of those bags makes, I can take half of it and make this recipe.
Okay.
So I cut the chicken up, and then in a bowl I put the chicken with about half a cup of Greek yogurt. It's going to sound crazy because you're air frying this.
Okay.
Paprika, Italian seasoning, olive oil. I can't remember if I used garlic powder. Salt, pepper. I'm sure there's one I'm leaving out because I didn't. Well, maybe I still have. Do I still have this up? Let me look real quick. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you in a second if I still have it, and I fucking do not. Damn it. Well, you can just start with those, and then if you want to give it a spicy kick, you can use not too much because it will burn, but you're doing it at a low temperature, so you can use the hot pepper honey, mix it in there if you want to give the chicken more of a bite. But you mix all this up, and then it'll have a garlic zing to it too, since you're using garlic powder. Dump the whole thing into the air fryer. Temperature is low. It's around 350 or 365 tops for about 8 minutes. Stir it once, kind of like the salmon recipe I've given out. And the yogurt gives it this kind. It softens it. Lemon juice. That was the other thing. Squeeze half a lemon into that. That was the thing I left out. Squeeze half a lemon into the yogurt and all the other things, and you should let it sit in the fridge for about half an hour, covered with plastic wrap. Then dump it into your air fryer. 8-9 minutes at 350 to 365. Stir it once. It sounds odd, like mixing yogurt into chicken and then air frying it, but it makes it a nice little crispened, creamy sauce to it. It's delicious. I haven't tried it with the hot pepper honey, but it would definitely work. So give it a whirl. Just those ingredients. That's all you need. You can make the whole thing in about 16 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's pretty delicious. All right, I gotta have a nap. We don't have another movie picked out yet, but tune in next week. Do you want to say goodbye to the people?
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you for listening. You should all go see Project Hail Mary.
Critique-Opolis out. Talk to you soon. Toodles.